Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got a B-Class Xfinity Series Fixture race for you here today. Did a little something different, kind of took the first lap to scrub tires in and do a warm-up, so showing you the replay of the second lap for qualifying, which ended up not being very good. You can see I just massively missed the entry into turn 1 and did not arc very well. I never got the car remotely close to the bottom like I needed to, so I bled off an insane amount of time through 1 and 2, and then going down the backstretch, honestly, I just pinched it in too hard and then tried to get it down and just picked up the throttle. So not very good on either end. The lap itself was absolutely terrible compared to what I've done in practice. Got the benefit of being in a pretty low split. I'm guessing, I'm hoping it's the second split out of all of them, but it could easily be the third or fourth. We are car number 4. There are 26 in total in the split. Managed to qualify 8th, but you can see I was almost 2.5 tenths off the pole sitter. If I would have run close to my best, I probably could have been in a top 3. I just did not get a very good qualifying effort at all. So, I mean, we're in the top third. Nowhere near where we're expected to finish. Gotta obviously climb to 4th just to get to that, but I'm hoping maybe if this goes green most of the way, starting towards the front will give us some track position. I'm going to certainly try to do the best that I can to be cautiously aggressive off the start. The car and the setup for me is definitely really loose off the start, and right now I'm just not good enough to drive that. But certainly going to try to do my best to keep it underneath me and run as competitively as I can while still making sure that I am saving tires. Haven't really gotten a ton of experience with running the high line. Most of my practice was just single car test sessions to allow me to make a ton of mistakes and not be getting in the way of anybody. So it's going to be a bit of an adventure up here on the top to start. Just have to see if I can catch a break pretty early on to get towards the bottom. I'm going to do the best that I can to save tires, because staying on the top side the whole time, even if it is quick, is not going to be good for the right front. So I'm going to want to try to find my way to the bottom if I can. But it's going to try to have some fun with this. Haven't run one of these in a while. It's a not a very good car combination. It's a car track combination for me. It's a 1.5 miles in a NASCAR series, so I'm just gonna struggle absolutely terribly. So honestly, like, I'm expected to finish towards the front. I probably need to be somewhere inside the top 7 or top 8 just to realize a somewhat decent iRating gain. If I can just finish inside the top half, you know, 11th, 12th, something like that, I will be thoroughly happy with that. I always struggle with these tracks and these cars, so certainly going to do the best that I can, and hopefully try to put something decent together. I think the biggest thing is just going to be to avoid problems. Not sure how many cautions there will be. I'm hoping it's far cleaner than the super late model race, but I think just trying to avoid whatever problems do happen will go a long way, as well as if we do happen to go green, you know, doing a good job of maintaining tires, treating the right sides as best as I can. You know, if we happen to go green, obviously it's going to be similar to a ARCA race in that sense, so I'm going to try to do the best that I can to be as kind to the tires as I can, and hopefully be able to catch some people that might have gone by me early on in the run, try to get them in the backside of the run and get back some spots that way. So just going to do the best I can. Going to be ready to go here shortly. Pace car is going to be pulling off. Not sure how many fast guys behind me are going to be flying their way through that have the pace and can tire save, so just going to try to feel everybody out, see what it looks like, and just try to get the best result that I can. Hopefully keep it clean.
Jake, get ready.
Leader's waiting. Leader is off and rolling. Not the best start, but not the worst by any means. Got a bit of a gap, so see if I can let the 6 go. Try to get my way to the bottom. Missed the 2 there. That was my fault. 6 is already losing it. He is able to save it. That keeps us from getting closer to the front pack. That allows the front 6 to break away, because we were all kind of checking up for him to avoid hitting him. So I have not quite figured out the entry through 3 and 4 that I want to run yet. I'm trying to take a little bit of a later arc to help keep the momentum up and save on the tires, but there's a bump in the middle of 3 and 4 that just keeps upsetting me every time, so I'm not really sure how I want to take that yet, but certainly going to try my best to see. Might not be a bad idea to just follow the 2 through right now, kind of hang with him pace-wise and see what happens. So, using the brakes right now to get into 3 and 4, a little bit of light brake drag to slow the car down, just lifting right now through 1 and 2, and as the tires wear, I'll continue to lift earlier and probably have to start using brakes through 1 and 2 as well. So, you can see the top 6 are gone, and 2 and I are kind of leading another pack, so just going to keep rolling and see if any trouble develops out of the front 6 or if they start to burn tires off. Kind of having to break up or back up the entries a little bit since I am falling in line behind the 2. Not really any pressure from behind from the 11 or the 12. Everybody, there's a couple side-by-side battles, but it seems like a lot of guys are running side-by-side right now, so it seems like some people might be in some tire-saving mode already and kind of taking it easy, so nice that we're getting some green flag laps in. Definite change of pace from the super late model race, so just have to see if it keeps going. Also have to watch the gap out to the top 6. Don't want them to get too far away to where I can't recover, but certainly, again, don't want to be pushing the tires too hard either. It's about 1.8 at the line. Just kind of riding behind the 2. Decided to take a little bit of the inside line there. Oh, we're going to dig to the inside. He's going to end up getting the run off of the corner. Got to watch him on the outside. Just going to fall back in line behind him. I think he's definitely holding people up a little bit, but he, again, probably knows better with the pace, so he gets a little loose there through 3 and 4 as to chase it up. I'm just going to try to get to the inside now. Lost a little bit of time to the 10 up ahead with that, so I'm going to try to do the best that I can to try to find some time now without burning up the tires too bad. Still very, very early on in the race, so plenty of time left. Also plenty of time for me to make the mistake. You can kind of see I hit that bump a little bit. For whatever reason, like I can get the car rotated in, and it starts to turn, and as soon as I hit the bump, it just shoots the car back up. So I got to try to figure out how to take care of that bump in the best way possible to save tires, keep momentum up, but also not lose the balance of the car and lose the rotation through it. So just running the bottom right now. I've heard some guys talking about running the top. I think the bottom right now is the way to go. Looks like the front 6 are doing that, so it's just this bump through 3 and 4 that I have to figure out. Looks like the 12 is taking a little bit of a lower entry into turn 3, so might start migrating down a little bit, see if that helps me find any time. I think the last mile and a half I ran was arc at Atlanta, so might still be stuck in that line. It's a little bit of a different track, even though they're very similar. So just gonna keep an eye right now on lap times, try to do the best that I can to keep them as consistent as possible without overdriving the car. 2's definitely fallen back quite a bit, so I think he might have just been a little bit slower, although he still might have pace and know what to do, but pulling away a little bit from the 12 behind, so it's helping. Probably got a little too early into the entry there into 1. It's going to kind of kill the run through, and you can see the 10's able to pull away. 10's closing back up on the 14, so he is catching back up to that pack. So if I can maintain pace with him, in theory, I'll be slowly catching the guys in front, but it's going to require quite a bit of luck. Just have to hope that we can run green as long as possible, and that I'm doing a better job of saving tires than the guys up front. Maintaining a fairly decent gap back to the 12 and the 11 behind, so just kind of logging laps right now, riding in the middle, just trying to take care of tires and just work on getting the car towards the end of the race. That's about all I can do right now, and just maintain status quo. Nothing else. 7th place won't be what was expected out of me, but a 7th place won't be a terrible finish by any means for me on a mile and a half, even though this is a lower split. Probably going to think about switching the last lap here shortly just to try to find some consistency and or some time. Kind of starting to back the brake points up already. I can feel the right front starting to go away a little bit. It's not quite rotating as much into the corners as I would like it to, or as it was at the start of the run. Gaps out front, gaps out back are staying about constant, so hoping that the guys up front are using tires up a little bit more so that the back half of the run I can try to gain some time. Switch it over to session last lap. Just got to try to keep the fade from being quite as bit. Lap times are obviously going to fall off for sure, but trying to keep it as consistent as I can. I just not had a real good time of driving consistent laps here in terms of lifting at the same point, picking it back up at the same point, turning it at the same point. Just all part of the driver development I need to do, so being able to do that is going to help me to the next step in this, and then really being able to find the lines will help me even more than that. So it's all a work in progress. These are, for me, hardest because I'm just not as good with these driving techniques for sure. There's a lot I still have to learn, but I'm trying to do my best. As well as closing in a little bit, but we are closing in on the 10 and the 7 as they battle side by side. 14's not much further ahead from them as well. 14's already migrated up to the top, it looks like, through 1 and 2. Pulling away from the 11 though, so I think it might be the 12 is the only one that can really contend with me right now. And again, he might be using tires up a little bit more to where if we stay green the whole way, I might be able to start pulling away. You can see I was able to gain a 10th as he had a little bit of a bad exit out of turn 4 into the first dog leg, so just have to hope that I'm not abusing the tires too much. Feel like I need to start backing up the lifting point into 1 and possibly even using the brakes. You can see real slow through 1 and 2 that time, but gaining quite a bit on the 10 and the 7 as they continue to battle. We've got a lap car up ahead, 15's running up high. I get a really bad corner there through 3 and 4, just too hard on the throttle, did not get down to the bottom, really leaned on the right front there. Start dragging the brakes into 1 and 2 to try to help it, and we get a caution. Expecting to see everybody into pit roads, probably going to be a good idea given the tire fall off and the fact that we have 2 sets. This is right about the time when you would expect to be coming in, so fortunately that's going to kind of wipe out tire strategy a little bit for me, but still could leave us with 26, 27 laps, maybe 25, somewhere around there on a run if we were to go green the rest of the way. So still possible that tire saving could come into play. I could try to take advantage of that if I was doing a decent job. We'll have to see where the tires were when we come to pit road and get them changed. Just working to catch up to the back of the pace car, back of the field so that I can hit with everybody. Gonna lose a little bit of time by having to stay behind the 15 who's a lap down. You can see everybody's working like they want to head to pit road. I think that's definitely going to be the way to go. Just got to ensure that I don't speed on pit road at all.
Irvin is pitting. What's your speed? Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour.
It's pretty much a no-brainer that everybody was going to be on pit road.
Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
I have to see if we're able to gain any time from anybody. Could be a 4-tire stop. Not worried about fuel. We've got more than enough, so as soon as the jack drops, we're good to go. Gets a good jump. He's able to beat me on pit road. I did not have quite as good of a stop as I wanted to, but it wasn't a terrible stop. Take a look at the tires, 92, 93, so not great. Definitely was leaning on that right front a little bit too much there the last 3 or 4 laps of that run, but not horrific. little bit worse than I was doing in practice, but not terrible overall, so I think we should sort back out. Let's see. Looks like we actually should be in 7, so picked up one spot. We jumped to 14, who was originally in front of us coming in, and we were able to jump him, so we'll come out in the same spot we went in at. The 12 just made a good job to pick up 2 spots there on pit road. So a little bit of a, not quite a mid-race break, but almost mid-race break, so hopefully going to get 2 to go this time by. And we do. Looks like the 2 might have had issues. We'll have to check the instance after the race, see what happened there. Probably should have gotten by him a little bit sooner. Wouldn't have had quite as big of a gap to the 14 and the 10 and the 7. I think he might have been off on pace a little bit, and I just mistaked him for doing a little better on tire saving and sitting behind him. Probably should have tried to push to get by him a little bit sooner, capitalize a little bit on his mistakes, but not too bad. Kind of reset. We're back in the same spot, so only a few spots away from the top 5 and a few spots away from getting to iRacing's expectations for me for this race, but certainly going to take quite a bit. I mean, the back probably 2 or 3 of that front 6 car pack I was able to keep pace with or catch slowly. I think the top 4, 3 or 4 might be gone for sure. Obviously that gap had opened up because of the one car having the issues off the start, so that was why we had to check up and wait. But
pits are open.
I'm going to try to do the best that I can on this restart to stay close to people. I'm going to try to take advantage of being on the inside line as best as I can. We're going to be restarting on lap 21, so we're going to have 25 to go. Not sure what the 7's doing there. Should put me in a good spot to, if I can get a good enough start at the inside line goes, to get by the 12. See if I can pick up a spot or 2 off the restart and hold it. But again, still got to go into tire saving mode, as well as make sure that I don't overdrive the car off the start, since we're going to be back on cold tires and low tire pressure. So that loose factor through center of the corners off is going to be back. So got to watch out for that. Cannot afford to lose it at all. And just need to be as kind to the tires as I can to start. So in a good spot. Just kind of trying to set myself up for the last half to after the race to try to capitalize if we go green the rest of the way and saving tires, and try to pick some spots up. That's my general strategy. This could still easily be a little bit shorter than a typical ARCA race at 1.5 miles, but a lot similar to an ARCA race. So kind of my mindset now for what could potentially be the last run if we don't have any more cautions. Just gonna try to time this restart as best as I can. Need to probably load up some AI races and just sit there and practice restarts over and over again to try to get better at them. Maybe for Season 2 I will make that a goal for myself. Maybe getting ready to go soon. Pace car is off, waiting for the leaders to go. Leaders off and rolling. Not the best start. You can see the 10 got away from me, the 12's on the outside. Just gonna let the 12 down in. He definitely had the position, so no real reason to fight him there, especially when he was still well clear of us. 7 gets into the wall, somehow shoots down the track, shoots back up the track, so kind of the same thing happens again, that I have to kind of check up for 1. Really got very lucky that he did not get into the right side of me. Not sure how that happened. It might have honestly even been a bit of netcode to get lucky to drive through him. I'll have to take a look at that and see, but nevertheless moves me up 1 spot to 6, so it's time to go back to tire saving mode. And make sure I don't overdrive the entries, lean on the right front too much. 14 seeming like he's doing a somewhat decent job of hanging with me, so we'll have to watch for him, see if he wants to push it harder than I do off the start of the run. Might be one of those where I let him go and try to catch him on the back end of the run. See if I can follow the 12 through. He's looking like he's going to try to get to the inside of the 10, so Might try to get to the inside of the 10 if I can, although of course the 10's going to have the advantage coming off of the corner. We'll get the run on the high side. You'll see that 14's starting to look like he's wanting to go to the high side, so a couple guys are getting a little racy trying to get as many positions as they can. Not sure what happened there, if the 14 came down into me or if that was net code. But he's getting real aggressive, so I'm just going to back out and let him go because we've got a real good gap back to the 8. There's no reason to race him that aggressively right now, especially as he's running all over the place. Try to keep it to the bottom. Going to wait for the 10 to get the run on the high side. Should be able to kill him actually, so it's a wash then with the 14 getting on by. You can see the 14's driving pretty aggressive on the high side. That's definitely going to wear out that right front. I think he might be trying to gain all he can and hoping for another caution, so have to see if that strategy does work out or not, but certainly going to just follow them right now, as well as watch out for any contact that might happen between the 12 and the 14. 14's definitely ripping it on the top side. Decided just to keep it on session last lap right now. Even though we're on a fresh set of tires, just try to make sure that I'm running consistent laps. I think the 8 is starting to close back in a little bit, but not too bad, and then depending on how much of a fight the 10 puts up, that might also allow me to have a little bit of a buffer. But just okay with riding here right now, trying to conserve tires, just start clicking more laps off. We're a little over halfway with 25 done, 20 to go. You can see 12's kind of hanging with the back of the 17 and the 14, but I think he's probably keeping an eye on them and just staying in touch and saving tires so that he can make a move the last half of the run. Kind of hoping if everybody behind's pushing it on tires, then if we do go green the rest of the way, maybe I could have a shot at a top 5. Obviously, I only need to pick up one spot to get to that, 2 spots to get to car number. Kind of driving this run a little bit more conservatively, backing it off a little bit earlier. Just going to try to do a little better job of saving tires compared to the first run if I can. Gaps are staying about consistent back to the 10 and the 8 behind, so pretty happy with that overall.
Time was 31.08.
Pretty happy with my move to let the 14 go as well. I think you're going to see very similar to the first run, where as we get 10, 11 laps into the run, he'll start falling back as well. It's going to be a matter of how hard is it for the 12 to pass him, but I think he's just definitely driving it really aggressive off the start and not worried as much about tire wear. Almost looked like he got into the wall off of turn 4 there. Feeling pretty happy the fact that I'm backing it up a little bit and the gaps are staying pretty consistent, so makes me think either everybody behind is doing the same thing in tire saving, or we, if I'm actually doing a good enough job of saving tires, we might have the pace later on to pull away from them. Just gotta hope that this race stays green the rest of the way in order for that strategy to work out. 12 and 14 are running side by side. I get a good gain on them this time because of that. Not really gonna interject too much into this battle here. Gotta watch the 14 on the high side. I'm still gonna stay committed to the low side for now. Just need to be careful of the 14 bouncing off the walls. I think he's gonna stay committed to the top side. You can see he scrapes the wall there through the back stretch. Just need to be cognizant because of how aggressive he ran me earlier coming up off the restart. Gets into the wall there going into 1. See if I can take advantage of that. Still probably get a good run off the corner, so just going to stay about a lane off. Hopefully he doesn't bounce off the wall into me. Almost felt like he did there, but again, that could have been prediction code. Able to clear him now. We'll have to see if he's going to try to dive it in turn 1 at all, but if he doesn't, that puts us in 5th, so up to the top 5 goal. And now that time to just kind of work and see if I can get to anybody up front. 17 is pulled quite a bit away from the 12. Again, not sure if the 25 and the 17 are trying to push hard on tires, or if they're just actually that much faster and have the pace, but just going to do what I can to try to conserve and put myself into a position to try to get there. 14's already starting to fall back quite a bit. I think he's really burned up that right front. And that's also kind of allowed me to pull away a little bit from the 8. So that gap's certainly helping in case I do start falling off a little bit harder at the back end of the run, that guys might have too much of the gap to pull up, but still a long, long way left to go. We're only 32 down with 13 to go, so quite a bit of a way left to go. But the fact that I can see the leaders right now and staying this close, even though it's not a top split, just makes me feel happy with performance so far. Looks like the leader had a bit of an issue getting into the wall off of turn 4. 17's going to take advantage of that, try to get on by. Was 3 up front. I think he's been leading all the laps up until now, so I'm sure he's going to be digging to try to get back. Have to watch out to see if there's any more contact and any more problems. I think we're at the point where we're going to start needing to break into turn 1 to save tires. You can see a wall scrape out of, I want to say the 25 up ahead, but it might have even been the 12. So guys are definitely giving it all, driving a little bit harder now. You can see the tires are falling off. Time for me to just continue, keep clicking off laps. It's not quite time yet to push as hard as I can. Had to flip the throttle there, just clipped the wall coming out of turn 2. I leaned on the right front a little bit too much, so just need to wait a little bit longer to pick up the throttle through the corners. Tires are definitely going away. But we're starting to see the 25 fall back. You're starting to see the 12 move up. 17 separating himself, getting a good gap for the lead. 3 might have some problems falling back as well. So top 5's definitely feeling like a very real possibility if we don't get another caution, as we're pulling away quite a bit. 14's falling all the way back to 7th, and could potentially get some spots up here with some guys. Try to run the inside line here, stay off the 25 if I can, but see if I can start working on him, maybe get by him out of turn 2. Commit to the inside line to try to get by him going into turn 1. Just gotta stay off of him, wait long enough to pick up the throttle so that I don't destroy the right front. 3's definitely slow, so he's gonna end up stalling the run on the inside. May have to back out, let the 25 have the spot, and try to get around the 3 on the outside. That was what the 14 did. This is only going to hurt me more and allow the 12 to pull away. As well as this is going to wear out my tires a little more, so 25 is still going to be at the outside. He's going to have what I think is the preferred line right now to try to get around the 3. I'm able to clear him, so I might try to look to the outside of the 3 going into 3 if I can. Actually, he misses it. He goes high, so then he cuts down on me. I unfortunately get the 4X out of that, but I don't really think that was all my fault. I think he cut down when he wasn't really clear, and we made some contact. I might have washed up a little bit, but I'll certainly review that and see if I actually pushed up into him and was not quite there. But can't worry about it right now, unfortunately. Not going to be a 0X race, but yeah, hard to say. Gives me a really good gap back to the 25 as well. So gonna dig, see if I can keep pace with the 12, see if I can get to the 17 at all. We'll see if the 17 saved enough tires or if he had problems. Feel bad for getting into the 3 there, but I feel like he was driving a bit aggressive and maybe blocking a little bit more than probably should have. So got 6 laps to go this time by as we start lap 40. Don't know if I'll have enough time to get to either the 12 or the 17, especially with how bad the car is getting. I drilled the wall. It's going to hurt the right front, kills the pace. Thankfully, you got a big enough gap back to the 25 that they'll probably just close up on me. 25 and 10 were starting to run side by side, it looked like. I think the 25 definitely burned up tire, especially trying to run the high side as much as he was. I just need to back everything up. We've got 5 to go now. So really it's just going to be about trying to limp it home, salvage the right front. I don't think a first or second is going to happen given how much further ahead they are, and they're not falling off really compared to me. So just going to try to drive as clean as I can, see if I can protect the top 3, bring it home there. Wanted to get by the 3 clean, feel bad about that, but again, we'll review it and see if it really was all my fault if I pushed up into him or if he kind of came down. It just from in-car looked like he definitely chopped down pretty quick, so hard to say there. Need the 10 and the 25 to continue to try to battle side by side. They look like they keep wanting to, and then they go single file, so the less they battle side by side, the more likely they are to catch me. Definitely have torn up the right front, got to wait quite a while to get on the throttle. Check the gaps this time by, it's 0.7, 0.9 back, so we'll see how that goes over the next 3 laps.
That last lap was at 32.6.
But even if we get last caution here to bring out a green-white checker, this has definitely been far cleaner than the super late model race was, and a lot nicer to run. So, may have to think about running a few more of these, include them in if you guys like seeing this. It's definitely a fun car to drive. Feels kind of similar to an ARCA car in a sense. Here we go. 10 closes up a little bit, but the gap to the 25 is consistent, so if the 10 does get close again to the 25, maybe they'll battle side by side, that'll stall them out a little bit, and it can allow me to build it up and have a decent chance at staying in third. I'm going to knock somebody out of the way. I at least want to take advantage of it and not finish way back. Just making sure I'm waiting long enough to pick up the throttle so that I don't wash up and drill the wall. They are battling side by side. You can see that's about put an extra 10th on the gap, so they got a long way to go to catch me. We are on the white flag lap.
Keep it together, we'll be on the podium.
Almost a side-by-side battle up front for the lead. The 12 has definitely done a good job catching the 17. I had to lift because I had a bit of an issue. 12 loses it off of the corner. Not sure if I'm going to be able to catch him, but certainly going to try my best. He's bouncing off the wall going through 3 and 4. He comes down, kind of comes down into me. I'm able to stave off of him. I really was kind of stuck, didn't want to back out hard enough, so unfortunately pick up another 4X out of that, but the 12 was just all over the place and trying to block the whole position, so out of that, we end up finishing second. Beat my expectations. I think tire saving might have helped. 12 was just digging all he could out of turn 2 to get there. I don't really know what else I could have done to avoid him. He was just all over the place, and by the time I'd committed to the bottom line of the corner, he decided to come down. He just chops down on me for some reason. Not really sure what that's all about. I mean, I understand his frustrations, but you kind of were all over the place and blocking around. So let's take a look at that first and see what we think about that. I get his displeasure, but I don't get his displeasure there. So that was a interesting last lap. So watch the battle. You can see he's on the high side trying to dig. He's going to try to pull a crossover. I don't know if that was intentional or if that actually... No, he got into the wall. He just flat out drove it too hard, got into the wall. Had to chase it down the track, chases it back up the track, drills the wall, comes back down the track, shoots up the track. He's against the wall. That was the point when I was there. I mean, I don't know. That's... Hard part about it is I thought he was going to straighten out and hold there. I would have the inside line at that point to shoot through this gap. I had already kind of committed to it, and then he cut back down. At this point, when he cuts back down, I don't really know where I'm supposed to go. I mean, you can see I hadn't picked up the throttle. I let out. Shouldn't have. I don't know. I could have tried to get on the brakes, but it was going to be pretty tough there. I mean, looking back at it, maybe I should have expected him to go down the track, and I should have been really looking more in this side and just kind of aborted it, but I kind of already committed to the line. It was going to be pretty hard to get out of it, so I don't know. I mean, that's a bit of a bad break, and for once, I don't get spun out of it, but that's pretty tough there. Feel free to leave your feedback, let me know what you think there. I don't know, that was a pretty tough one to judge, so let's watch this one too with the 3. This is going to be the bigger battle too. So I'm running the inside line. This is, I think, going to be a lap before it. 25 and 12 are running the high side. Probably should have just fallen in behind the 25, gone to the high side to try to get by him. I thought I was faster than the 25, and I thought the 3 was faster than what he was. Actually, let me... bring the camera up a little bit so we get a little bit more of an overhead view. Try to bring it out a little bit. There we go. It should make it a little bit easier to see if he does come down. So I'm able to clear the 25 at this point, so I'm going to fall in line behind the 3. This is where I believe this time into turn 3, he's going to wash up the track. So I was originally prepared to go to the high side. He washes up the track, so I get to the inside of him. Okay, so I hit the bottom and lost it. Let's look at it from the far chase. So you can see I'm on the bottom of the track, kind of clip the apron, shoot up a little bit. Oh, that actually was netcode. We might have stayed off. So I don't feel quite as bad. I mean, I feel bad because I definitely shot up the track, and if we look at it from his perspective... Excuse me, sorry about that. He was not quite fully clear, but he was definitely coming down the track, so I think that might have been a combination of both of us, and that's what led to that netcode. It's pretty rough netcode for sure. I might have been able to keep it off of him. I think he had every intention of just taking the inside line anyways. I mean, to a degree, he is clear, but it's, I don't know. I mean, that's hard to say. And my nose is technically there, so that one's really hard to say if he was fully clear or not. But yeah, feel free to leave your feedback. What happened with the 12? What happened with the 3 as well? I'm kind of gonna chalk the first one up to maybe I should have taken that inside or that high side line, but honestly I expected him to hold it up, or I was hoping that he was gonna hold it up, and I thought there was enough of the lane to the inside that I could. That one definitely was a little bit on me for bouncing off the apron and shooting up the track, but I don't know. I still think the 3 was definitely coming down a little bit more than he should have. So I'm going to take a look at the tires really quick. 80, 88 definitely was wearing out that right front the last few laps trying to get there. So probably a little bit of a worse wear on the right front at least. But we did have a much longer run, so nice to get that in. Only have 1 caution. Take a look at the results. Safety rating's definitely going to plummet with that one, but iRating at least should be able to go somewhere. So have to see how that goes. Get that pulled up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that a little bit more. Pretty weak strength of field. Was the second split, 23, 46, definitely weaker than me. Obviously, I was car number 4. Nice to only have 1 caution, 4 laps. We did a lot of green flag racing, and they were good runs, so that was nice. About a 10th off the fast lap, but the 14 was, in my opinion, way over driving the tires. So you can see I was fairly similar to a lot of the guys that finished around here. So feel like I was treating the tires fairly well, even though the percentages didn't come out all that great. Yeah, able to gain 80 iRating, so back over 2650, almost up to 2680. Unfortunately, got the 12 inch, got the 4X out of the 12 coming down into me at the end. That's pretty unfortunate. I'm not going to worry about protesting it, but that kind of sucks. That kills the iRating or the safety rating a little bit more than it should have. I get his displeasure, but that's frustrating. So probably should have just continued to ride around, not stop so early, and then maybe enough people would cross the line that it wouldn't have counted at that point. But super frustrating. I don't know. That sucks. But lost 0.17, so down to 2.27. Just got to try to get clean races back in to build it back up. But at the same time, you know, if I know stuff's not happening because of my fault, then certainly going to feel a little bit better, even if it does happen. The 4X out of the stuff with the 3, that's a bit unfortunate since that was netcode. Again, you know, that one's kind of a 50-50 deal. The second thing with the 12, I don't know. I'm kind of chalked that up to just couldn't do anything at that point in time. Thought I was clear. Thought he should have held it in the line rather than diving all the way down to the bottom. But guess I should have expected last lap that he was going to do all he could to protect the position. So my fault. Probably should be a little bit more race savvy with that and just learn. Haven't really had that situation happen too often. So that's my fault for not making the right call there. But feel free to let me know if you guys would have done the same thing and it was just bad luck and a bad racing deal there. But overall, not a terrible performance, so glad to have done a pretty decent job of tire saving and get somewhere. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to lead any feedback on the analysis or just love to hear from you guys in general. And make sure to stay tuned for more races. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.